Hello, everybody. It's Leslie Tagorda here again, your brand navigator and your brand astrologer. And we are here to talk about that Jupiter retrograde that I posted about a little bit earlier. It was a little bit of mystery because I didn't have quite figured out what I wanted to tell you and talk about, but I knew it was something really big and important. All right. So it's tax season. It's April. What date is it today? Oh my gosh. It's April 11th. So yesterday, Jupiter went retrograde. Jupiter is going to be in retrograde for a few months. Now, no need to freak out. It's not like those Mercury retrogrades that really like put your whole life and communications on hold or in like this panic mode. Jupiter retrograde feeling is way different, and we get to harness it in a different way. And this is how I have learned what to expect from this Jupiter retrograde. Because it is tax season, and I am kind of a procrastinator when it comes to money things, because what we've learned about procrastination, it's not necessarily that we don't have any willpower to do the things, it's because it doesn't bring us pleasure, right? We're hiding from it. So a couple of nights ago, before I had my husband and I had our appointment with our tax person, I was putting together all of my books. I had all my P&Ls from my business from 2018. That was fine. I was putting everything together. And what I realized, we're in Q2 of the next year, and I'm looking back at the money that I made a whole year ago. And I realized in 2018, I really had blinders on me. And that wasn't my motivation the previous years with my business money. And what I realized when I was doing my taxes is that, wow, I am so super grateful. I made way more money than I have ever made before. But ta-da, my profits were like teeny tiny. And now, okay, yes, give myself a break. For all intents and purposes, I have started an entirely new business. I have invested in a business coach. I have invested in a mastermind. I have invested in a digital marketer. I've been investing in training. I've been investing in Facebook ads. I have a ginormous team that supports me. I have my right-hand man, Jeff, who pretty much does everything that I need him to do. I have a digital marketing person who helps me with ads. I have a VA, I have all these things, right? So in a real sense, I'm kind of a fat cat. I'm living the mindset of where I want to be, but I haven't really been paying enough attention. Hi, Renee. I haven't really been paying enough attention to my profits and how much money I need to kind of rein it in as far as investing, because I am bootlegging this, right? And when I'm bootlegging this, not only is this affecting me, but it's affecting my family, because I'm taking money out of what I could be spending on my family. All right. So what all of this has to do with Jupiter retrograde, right? If we think about Jupiter, this ginormous, expansive, huge planet, some astrologers say that it represents luck, it represents spirituality, it represents the archetype of philosophy and our values and our being. Well, not so much our values like in Venus terms of like what we value, but our personal values, right? This is all Jupiter. And now as Jupiter transits around the sun, it takes about 12 years for Jupiter to orbit around the sun and 12 years to go through all of the zodiac signs, right? So as it goes through all the zodiacs, that means that Jupiter spends about 1 year, give or take a month or so, in each zodiac sign, in each house. And even if we have challenging aspects that have a lot of discordant energies like squares or oppositions, no matter what Jupiter touches, it has a chance to expand. So that's why sometimes people say that Jupiter is lucky, because it just is always expanding our ideals and expanding our waistlines. Yes, Jupiter does do that. I am a Jupiter Sun conjunct natal. So one of the side effects is I'm super optimistic and in general a lucky person, but it does make my waistline a little bit over the edge because I tend to be indulgent in so many different ways. Off topic, going back to Jupiter retrograde. So one of the things that we get to think about during Jupiter retrograde, unlike Mercury retrograde, is that we need to reassess our philosophical bases of living and seeing if we're what I mean by this is by walking our talk. Okay, I just got off an amazing call with my the group of crystallized coaching program women. We're just ending this cohort. We're in our last weeks here, and so we had this wonderful group coaching session today. And we have an astrologer in our group, and she has so many years of experience. Deborah Tash, she's amazing. And even though I'm an astrologer too, I'm always learning from so many people. And so Deborah and I were talking about, what does the Jupiter retrograde mean to her? And so what Deborah was sharing with us is that whenever a planet goes retrograde, and they all do, except for the sun and the moon, all of the planets go retrograde. Jupiter, every 13 months, 12 to 13 months, it'll go retrograde for 4 months, right? So it's going to happen once a year for us. It just gives us the opportunity to reassess whatever is being activated by that energetic archetype. So with Jupiter, when we're running through our lives, what's important to us? What are our personal values, right? Our personal values are affected by our belief system, the philosophical system that we live our lives. So if we automatically already have like an abundant mindset of living and have certain belief systems, this is going to trickle down into our personal values. And then that is then going to trickle down into how, I'm reading my notes here, how this becomes practical in our life, how this gets determined in our life, how this now manifests in our reality, our quote unquote destiny. So Renee is asking, so this would be a good time to work on expansion in business and life. More so than just working on expansion in business and life, it's time to reassess what has been working and giving gratitude to those things that have been working and how you can deepen that, right? So Jupiter is always expanding, but Jupiter retrograde gives us a chance to reassess what's been working and what hasn't been working in expanding. So what was coming up for me with doing my taxes, going full circle back to the money thing, is that I'm teaching women entrepreneurs how to be more profitable through gaining confidence and clarity in their brand. Part of gaining confidence and clarity in their brand is about, oh goodness, there's a pop-up on my screen, it's bothering me. Part of gaining confidence and clarity in your brand is being able to understand our own value. And when we understand our own value, this elevates our confidence. This enables us to really talk about confidently what we do best. And when we can talk about things, how we're super confident in what we have to value, other people get that, right? What I'm really trying to say here is that all of these things that I teach women entrepreneurs to do about increasing their value, increasing their profits, increasing their bottom lines, is that I'm not really right now aligned to that because I'm not doing the same thing for me. So even though my profits have even though my income has been going up, my profits have been really, really small, have been stagnant. So I have to reassess what's working. So I'm obviously able to make money, but what's not working is that I'm not able to keep money to put it back into my family because I'm just reinvesting in my business. So it's kind of a multi-layered thing here because yes, I want to be investing in my business, but I have to have a better balance of the amount of money that I'm investing in my business and the amount of money that I'm taking out of my business to support myself and to support my family, right? So when we're thinking about Mercury retrograde, and Renee, when you're thinking about how to expand your business and your life, one of the things to ask yourself is, are you completely in alignment with what you're selling and the way that you live your life? Does that make sense? Because sometimes I have so many things that I want to say that I'm not sure I'm being super clear about this. So again, one of the women in Crystallize, she was also talking about, she helps mothers, she helps coach mothers, especially brand new mothers, with self-care by giving them permission to be the perfect enough mom and giving them permission to to provide self-care for themselves, right? But the way she wasn't walking her talk, she noticed, was that she wasn't prioritizing her own self-care, and she was kind of going through a self-care drought, right? And so this is one way we're not walking our talk. So I'm going to pose this question again to you. During the next 4 months that Jupiter goes retrograde, where can you better align yourself and your not your ideals, your actual personal values? Like ideals, sometimes, you have this ideal to exercise, ideal to eat healthy. Those things are like almost like pipe dreams, right? We're talking about like the real day-to-day values that drive your being, drive your life, drive your business. Are there places that you're not living in alignment there? And Jupiter retrograde is going to really help you figure those things out. Leverage the energy for the next 4 months. The other thing that you want to do is go to a site like astro.com. If you need a little bit of a training, just let me know in here, and I will pop up a little training on how to find your transits. Transits are the planets as they're moving across your natal chart. The natal chart is static. That was the time that you were born. And we can see which house Jupiter will be transiting during this Sagittarius retrograde to see where we can bring more attention in your life, like what area of our life is being activated. So for me right now, Jupiter will be transiting, is currently going retrograde in my 7th house, but just at the very beginning of the 7th house. So as it progresses through retrograde, it's going to be going through the 6th house. So right now, my way of leveraging is going to be looking at my relationships, my personal relationships, my business relationships, and how to realign those things for more expansion. And then as it goes back into the 6th house, I'll be able to harness that energy to look at how I am serving others, right? And in order to serve others really well, I have to serve myself well. So there's this element of wellness, right? Also during my Crystallize program earlier today, somebody was talking about you can't give to somebody if your own well is empty, right? All these beautiful things, they're all related, they're all coming together, and I wanted to share that with you. All right, so that's all I have for now. If you have more questions, pop it in the comments and I will reply back to them as soon as I get a chance. Have a good one. Bye.